Hey, welcome to the program. We're already starting our conversation over here with amazing folks from Amazing Hearing. So I want to introduce Ann Mendel Noel and Gabriela Rodriguez to the program. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my first time getting to talk to you, but you guys have been long time guests here on the program, and you also had some recent awards that we want to talk about. You guys had some honors from the Orange County Register, right?
We did. We are very thankful and blessed that we have been voted the #1 place to buy a hearing aid in Orange County, back to back. So 2 years
right.
in a row.
That's right.
And we say we have very intelligent patients.
Now tell us a little bit about what went into that. How did you find out that you had this kind of cool award?
So with that, the patients vote, so we get a link that we can send out, and then they vote. So they got to vote once a day, every day for 30 days back in like May.
Okay.
And then once they correlated all the results, then we found out in September that we won, and we announced it at the end of September.
Oh, terrific. Congratulations on that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
a big award. Yeah.
So what do you think makes you guys, I don't know, a little bit different, or a little bit, what is it about your patients that come away saying this is the place to go, we love the service, we love what's going on?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we are more like a boutique. So we are really into patient-centered care. And as audiologists, that means that we have a master's degree, or Dr. Gabby has a doctorate degree in hearing sciences. So we have a little bit more of the education behind us, as well as the experience and the empathy. So our team is really a hands-on, patient-centered. We have evening hours, we have Saturday hours, so it's about the whole kind of package put together.
Okay. Now, what makes the hearing, I guess, Dr. Gabby, a quick question, kind of easy, I don't know if it's easy, or kind of, what makes hearing like kind of almost an entire body kind of experience, or it kind of affects everything, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Hearing care is healthcare. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that your inner ear is so intricate. There's so many things involved in the inner ear aside from hearing. So your balance organ is in the inner ear, responsible for kind of where you are in time and place. Really important. Make sure we're not fall risk. Another thing going along with fall risk is safety. Got to make sure you're safe, stable. That includes the whole body, especially the inner ear. We know that memory is closely related to the inner ear. Any degree of hearing loss puts you more risk for overall cognitive decline. Alzheimer's, dementia, closely related to untreated hearing loss. So, as audiologists, we kind of look at the whole puzzle pieces, put them all together to make sure you're safe and healthy and happy. Socialization, isolation, withdrawing from conversations and social gatherings, all we know are signs of maybe an untreated hearing loss, and that plays into your overall health as well.
It's kind of interesting to me, I guess, when you spin around, you get dizzy, that's an inner ear issue. Or when you get a little bit older, you have the thinning of the inner ear, and you can't do roller coasters because you get nausea.
Yeah.
Well, how is that, and why? Do we know why that's all connected to the ear? It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but...
Yeah, so there's 3 little bones inside your inner ear that are responsible for exactly where you are in time and space. Just like your eyes, as you get older, things start to break down as you get a little wiser. Same thing with your inner ear. The same nerve that controls your balance organ controls your hearing organ. So when we see a deficit in one, oftentimes we see a deficit in the other.
I don't know if I'm getting any wiser, but I'm getting older. So how do we test and treat for these issues if we start seeing some of these things coming up?
First place would be come to see an audiologist. We're able to scratch the surface on a lot of different things, make appropriate medical referrals if needed. And in the office, we can really, go over results, diagnosis, and guide you what the next steps would be.
Okay. And when we go to the office, when we're doing those kinds of things, are we doing like the hearing test? We're raising the hands. What's the process of that? If people might be nervous about going to a doctor or that, because it's not a regular annual thing for most people to go to an audiologist.
Right.
I think my last one literally was when I was a kid in high school, and we're doing the raise your hand.
Yeah. People always ask if anything has changed, and honestly, we haven't really fixed what's not broken.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more intense than just raising your hand, but we do listen to beeps, click a button, we go through some speech recognition, test you in background noise, see, you know, what issues might arise.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I would like to add to that that we know that we are losing our vision in our 40s and 50s, and we are now losing our hearing in our 60s and 70s.
Okay.
And that's starting to become more of a well-known fact. And so it is a good thing to get a screening, even a baseline when you're in your 60s, or even
Right.
before, if you notice that you're leaning in, if you're having trouble in background noise, because although people will say, well, I have a little bit of loss, anything outside the normal zone is not normal, right? Our
Right.
brain is made to have a full input, and if we don't get that, then we're going to start to struggle.
Yeah, and it can be so slight and incremental that people just think, oh, this is the way I've always heard, you know, that little slow, kind of slow boil that happens as you get older. You know, today we have the ability to go into Costco and buy a hearing aid. And it just seems to me that you'd want an expert to be able to do that kind of thing. I mean, what's the difference between going into, why can't I just go off and buy something at Costco and I should be fine?
Well, I think Costco is a safe place because it's a well-known name, right? I
Sure.
know that there's a Costco across the country, so I know that they're stable. What Costco's business model, though, is a moderate product at a moderate price. And moderate is okay for some people, but we know that we are trying to give the best quality products, so you'll never find the hearing aids that we offer in our office in Costco.
Right.
Because that's not their business model.
The kind of the generics.
Exactly, or just the moderate, right?
Right.
So they still are well-known manufacturers, but we are always to say what is the best, because if we can give the brain the cleanest, clearest signal for processing, then we know you have your best chance of success. And we have we have Costco pricing at a better quality product.
Right,
So
okay.
we feel that, especially as doctors of audiology, and I have a master's degree, that we are the one to start with. And then if they choose to want to go somewhere else, that's great. But truly, when people say, well, I'm happy with what I have, it's because maybe you haven't listened to something else.
Right, right.
So.
And there can be variations, right? If I have tinnitus along with maybe damage in one ear, there's going to be something that the Costco folks aren't able to, you know, that's just the guy that's stocking the shelf isn't going to be able to tell
Right.
you much. But
Sure.
going to you, you'll be able to kind of fine tune that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And tinnitus or tinnitus, both is correct,
Oh.
can be one of the first signs of hearing loss. So a lot of times if you see a medical doctor, they might tell you there's not a whole lot we can do about that. I would say get a hearing test, because that does open up a treatment option. So yeah.
What are the best ways we can protect our hearing as we get older, or as we go along in our lives?
I would say exercise, right? So the three things that we know we should be doing. One, exercise, because you get oxygen into the body, and the ear is the size of a pea. So the organ that does the hearing is the size of a pea. So the blood flow going in and out of it is crucial, and so oxygen is number one. The second thing is eating healthy, right? So we know that the more we eat well, the better the blood flow. And then the third thing is protect it when you have noise and you're in loud environments. So for younger people, definitely protecting it.
Okay, yeah. And, you know, with the kids, I know the kids today, these kids today, but, you know, they're walking around with the earbuds, and I can hear them through that. I mean, are we doing long-term damage, or, you know, is that just this, is that going to be a real issue down the line in the next decades to come?
It can be, for sure. Excuse me, I'm choking. The thing with hearing is once you lose it, you lose it. So people don't realize that years ago, the concerts, the music, all of the input does stay with you through your whole life.
Okay.
So you can. So baseline audiograms, making sure you're being diligent early on, best way.
Yeah, in fact, even the recent studies are showing that the 18-year-olds are more like 45 and 50-year-olds when it comes to hearing levels.
Wow.
So what happens is when you have a noise-induced loss, like what you're talking about, you go and your hearing is normal, 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 there's a drop and it recovers, and then normal, normal, normal. So we can track if there's a noise-induced hearing loss.
Okay.
But what happens then is with aging, you hit that area that starts to decay, and then it finds that part that was damaged way before, and so it's worse than if you didn't have a noise-induced
Okay.
loss.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
definitely things we can look at, and getting a baseline is the best way to start.
Now, you guys aren't just about hearing; you're also kind of like on the environmental side. You guys do some recycling. Do you still do that at your shop there?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, we
You
do.
wanna go?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we collect plastic bottles and aluminum cans, and anything with the California CRV. So we don't do recycling like milk bottles and
You won't take my old
laundry.
TV.
Yeah, none of that. But what we do with the money that's collected from that is we use it to put water wells in Uganda. And over the last 14 years that I've been recycling, we have put in 12 water wells.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we know directly where they're going because we have those connections, and so it's life-changing. So anybody can drop off plastic bottles and aluminum cans. You don't need to be a patient. And we take them Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Well, that's fantastic. Let's close on that. Dr. Gabby and Ann, amazing here. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And we have Sports Corner up next with Cole Young. Stay with us.